on the Facebook. Hold on. Yeah, it's like the audio is low. Mm-mm.
Okay, so they might. It should be going.
All right. But I guess if they and this is the viewers on Facebook, if y'all are having issues with hearing us, please let us know in the comments so we can know how to move around with that.
Yeah.
This is our first time going live on Facebook simultaneously. But anyway, we appreciate everybody for your patience with our technical difficulties. But my name is Cox. I'm the CEO of Soul Faces Media. I'm from Georgetown, South Carolina. And I want to welcome you guys to the Soul Expressions. I don't want to call it a podcast, but I'm just calling it a segment for right now. I'm going to let my co-host introduce himself.
What's up, y'all? I'm Colin Mayer from Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm the CEO of Charlotte Stomp and Shake, which is Instagram data to stomp, Instagram that showcases Stomp and Shake cheerleaders, and I'm the co-host of Soul Expressions with the Shot.
All right, so for those who had missed out last week, we dived into some pretty good topics. Last week we were getting excited for the VERZUZ against Ashanti and Keyshia Coles, but as everybody knows, it was postponed until January the 9th due to Ashanti contracting the coronavirus.
Right.
I know much people was making like jokes about, her contracted COVID, but we do need to take in the seriousness of this illness in the middle of the pandemic. But I do feel like it was real ironic,
that it happened at that time.
Yeah,
I mean, it was ironic, but it is what it is. When they got on live last night, I kind of saw it in her face that she was a little under the weather or whatnot, Ashanti. It was ironic, and I mean, I will say as a culture, our culture seems to turn into a joke. I think that's because we've dealt with so much that we try to find the laughter out of it. I understand it can be too much, but I think that's kind of what happened yesterday or last night, rather.
Right. I mean, I ain't gonna lie now. Some of the posts was, funny. But in all seriousness, even with the pandemic that's going on right now, and all these different precautions that they telling us, not to travel, limit that and the third. Now, not even gonna lie, I was watching Ashanti's Instagram story one day earlier this week, and she was like somewhere out of the country. Like, I don't know if she was like in Dubai or I don't think it was like on this side of the world, but she was definitely not in the country. And I'm like, this chick is on vacation right now, and she got the VERZUZ coming up this week. Like,
you should have been at home with some warm tea.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, when I saw that at the beginning of the week, I was just like, now.
You told me that first. I think you told me that first yesterday, and so I got on Twitter last night, and I saw somebody screenshot it, like all the different places she'd been in the last few months or few weeks or whatever. She's been going everywhere. So, are you sure you trying to do this VERZUZ, Ashanti?
Yeah, as I kid you, I was at work one day earlier this week, and I was like, oh shit, like Ashanti out of the country. I was like, she gonna be back in time for the VERZUZ. Lo and behold, and then bam, y'all, I got the coronavirus. I'm sorry, to announce this, da 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 da, blah 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 blah. But all jokes aside, like, I wish her a speedy recovery. Back to health, and January the 9th, we're gonna see what it is. Like I said, I rock with the both of them. But for this VERZUZ, Team Casey gotta work.
Especially now since she was ready. And I saw how good she looked yesterday.
And like Keyshia was
and I mean, Ashanti looked good too. Like, if you see Ashanti's pictures on Instagram, social media, she looks really good. But Keyshia Cole was ready to shut it down yesterday.
Yeah,
Yes.
she was, and I know Ashanti would have been ready too, as far as like her appearance goes or whatever. Like yeah, she would have definitely been ready too. But like I said, we're gonna see on the night, and we definitely gonna bring the topic back up after when we get to that point. So while we on the topic of COVID, I'm sure everybody has seen where they've been publicizing that we now have vaccines for the coronavirus, and people, they've been going in this tangent all over social media,
Right.
various social media platforms saying, how they don't trust it, they're not going to take the vaccine and things of that nature.
Right.
Because what?
I don't get a flu shot. But I try to stay away from certain things that I feel like I do anyway. But with this vaccine and everything going on, the way we got it in the first place, like, why would I take? Why would I take that? At least not first anyway. And they were saying things like, "Oh well, you can't get the stimulus check if." I don't know how true that was, but they're saying like in order to get the stimulus vaccine or in order to do so many things, they're trying to make that a requirement. Like they want to control the way we live, pretty much. Who knows what's in that vaccine?
Yeah, you're right. You're right, and I think the thing is, with as like I said, we know how serious this pandemic is,
Right.
but I feel like whenever this pandemic first came about, and the pressure that the pressure that the media kind of put on the seriousness of it, with the death rates and things of that nature, I feel like it was I don't want to say I feel like it was an agenda behind that, but I feel like they're using that to kind of pressure people, into taking the vaccine. Like I said, I take a flu shot. I know certain people, they've said, well, I don't do the flu shot. Certain people that I've talked to, they have said that they have taken the flu shot and still contracted the flu.
Okay.
To that nature, but I haven't had that issue. And like I was saying last week, I have like a certain regimen that I do myself,
Right.
to make sure, I keep up, making sure that my immune system, is top tier. But I don't know if I want to take it right off as well, because you have so many other different illnesses and diseases that has been around for decades or more, and it's just like, y'all haven't taken care of those illnesses, then we have the coronavirus that just came,
Right.
really starting last December, a year ago, and now the year following, I already have like a vaccine for it, but you got, these other illnesses like cancer and etc., that people are still fighting every day. And I feel like with those things, like chemotherapy and, medicines or whatever, I feel like it's like a Band-Aid over the wound, but it's not really healing it.
At times I would feel like, well, and I still feel this way to a certain extent. I feel like a lot of times America cares more about the money aspect of it than they do about making sure that people are taken care of. And this pandemic kind of showed me that or whatnot, because a lot of the sicknesses and things that are out here right now, I'm pretty sure we could have even gotten rid of those, based off like things like if you pay attention to like in other areas where it shows you have other holistic ways of curing things. This country depends too much on the medical industry and the medicines as far as making money or whatever. I feel like that's why they're not quick to come save us, quote unquote, because they feel like we can make money with the chemotherapy, the medicines that they give out to hold you over, instead of just curing you. But yeah, I think that's kind of why they try to scare us with it.
Yeah, but we gonna see. We gonna see, because I just came across something earlier a few hours ago talking about what is the name of that company? I think it's Pfizer, Cipher, whatever. I'm sorry if I'm butchering the name. other company. I'm sorry, y'all know it's some type of. It look like it's like a German type pharmacy or whatever. You know, but people in the United States definitely take their medicines, but they're supposed to be administering the vaccine into the United States this upcoming week. But yeah, I don't know.
They
I
can.
got I know I personally wouldn't want to be the sacrificial lamb for that. You know.
Well, first of all, to me, it ain't even about being a sacrificial lamb. It's not about any of that. It's about the fact that if people stay their behinds in the house and and chilled out for a little bit, we could. I don't know if it will ever go away, but think about it. If everybody goes in the house like they're supposed to, and then the people that have it, you taking care of them or getting the nurse back to health, because as you can see, it can be cured. I like one of my friends, and he lost the ability to walk for a minute or whatever. But he was able to be cured. If you get people in the house, we should be fine. But they don't want to go in the house. People don't want to go in the house and see the people. Oh, echo enough. But you fight. Everybody's gonna work out being out if they're not dealing with the fact that. You hear that?
Yeah, I hear something. I know we have like one viewer
It was,
on this, you know.
but basically what I was saying was that put everybody in the house, take care of the people that are sick, and you're trying to put these medicines in our body. You haven't even done all you could do, with us in general, like to begin with. Before you opt to that point, you need to handle without the medicine. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
Like, that doesn't make sense to me anyway.
Yeah. And to piggyback off what you said, do you think that once Biden gets in office next month or whatever, that we're gonna go back on the lockdown?
Yeah, and honestly, I said it because living in Charlotte, we're already back on the 10 p.m. curfew, and from the way President's now thing is the tweet. What I've seen and the way he communicates to us, he's very adamant about us being safe. Because how can we move forward as a country, even as president, which you have a certain things in place? How can you move forward if we can't even take care of the coronavirus? Like that's all that's on everybody's mind right now. The virus. We have so far to go as a country that this virus is only hindering us from being able to do that. Like y'all had the president we had. Well, we trying to fix that, and then he goes more mess on top. We got to handle our business.
Yeah, you're right, but we most definitely gonna see how it go back. Ultimately, I can't wait till we finally pass all of this and back to some sense of normalcy that we were in prior to this pandemic taking off. What's going on, Veronica? Yeah, but on to the next topic. Power. Power came back last week, after being on like a month and a half hiatus. They were trying to finish up with the filming and editing due to the coronavirus, which is why they weren't able to start it initially, I think back in June and July, whenever it was supposed to air. And the episode last week was Good versus Evil. That was the name of the episode last week. I feel like that was a great episode to come.
Last week's episode?
Yeah, I think that was a good episode, especially after that hiatus. The show is definitely exceeding my expectations of it, because initially I thought that, Power is ending,
Well, you didn't think it was popular because it was a new ideal, I guess?
Not really. I guess I was so gun-ho on, Ghost and Tommy and, just that original cast because, I had followed the show really since it started. Well, maybe like right before the second season had started.
Okay.
Right after the first season ended, that's when I learned about it. and I caught up with it. So whenever the second season started, I was just like full on into it. But I guess like with Tariq's character, I didn't really too much care for it in Power. So the idea of having him as the
main
character, I was just like, I don't know how it's gonna go, but I will say that it's definitely exceeded my expectations, and I'm looking forward to see how the show is gonna move forward.
Let me get my notebook because I wrote down all the stuff I wanted to talk about when it came to parents.
Oh boy! See, you gotta be prepared because I got my stuff right in front of me.
Okay. First things first. On this week's episode of Power, we're talking about last week and this week, right? Which one?
Last week,
I just bought.
Yeah, episode 6. Because there's certain people that's gonna watch it tonight at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, whatever it comes on. Once they put it on the app and they made it available at 12, that's how I was watching.
Yeah, because I really wanted to talk about that stuff today, y'all. Dang, I'll talk about last week though. His daddy knocked his head off. Knocked off. That part right there, I was like, dang. But then I guess I don't know if that's street code. And I kind of fast forwarded through that part. But basically, you start off with what you were gonna say, and I'm gonna piggyback out there because with that particular part, I think that's the thing that stood out the most to me.
In last week's episode?
Huh?
What, in last week's episode?
Last week's. Remember when he went because of what he did to Monet?
Oh yeah.
He got it down.
Yeah, in reference to that. Well, we know Kane been a hothead since the show started.
Yeah.
Last week, we saw him amp up a little bit more. Losing his sense of I wouldn't say direction, but like his role, him not knowing his role.
He lost his role. Yeah. He I'm gonna say honestly, at first I liked his character. I was like, okay, this would be some good camaraderie for Tariq. But as I noticed that, okay, so you're upset because you're wanting to be the boss of your house, and then you see somebody like Tariq who now his father's gone, his mom's in prison. But even before then, Tariq was kind of I think he thinks smarter than like a person like Kane on the show, so to speak. And so I think he sees it, feels threatened that I might lose my position to somebody who's not in this family, And so
yeah, and especially after watching this new episode, like we said, we ain't gonna get into the new episodes. So week to week, we just gonna talk about the previous week episode. Just to have respect for the viewers that watch the show on Sundays and not Saturday nights.
STARZ at him.
Right, but yeah, I wasn't really expecting him to put his hands on Monet or whatever. I think that kind of caught me off guard, and I do feel like he got what he deserved, because he put his hands on Monet. I felt like he was definitely out of line for that, and he needed to be handled. But now, I can't talk about that. Dang, we might just have to bust our bubble and.
No,
These new episodes going forward, man, because I can't even really expound on it because of the new episode. Because what I want to talk about it kind of bounces forward from this new episode that is gonna come on tonight.
Well, that's okay. We'll talk about it next week because remember we got so much stuff from last week's episode that we didn't talk about. Y'all better get that app because they're not gonna be crazy to see what's wrong. We got to talk about. All right.
Definitely.
How much is the app?
The app? I don't know. Shit, I don't even pay for it myself.
All right, me neither, but still, get it.
I think it's
but I'll watch it.
Like $8.99 a month.
That ain't bad. Hell good. But I mean, like last week's episode, since we don't want to spoil it this time, last week's episode, just a recap of it, because we talked about him giving the people's elbow to Monet. What else stuck out to you?
Too big getting out of jail.
He got out of jail. Well, how did he get out of jail? Like, what did you think about it? Did you think
I'm glad he got out. I mean, at first, I didn't really too much care for 2-Bit character.
Really?
Yeah, like in Power, I didn't really care for it, but you know, and his character is growing on me. I feel like him getting out was like a slap to the face to Sax, you know, which I don't really like. Huh?
Bump sacks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like him getting out was like, yeah, you know, like.
Oh, you saying from his point of view? Like, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, because Sax wanted him to be in so hard. You know, got him in. You know, whatever. So yeah, I'm glad that he's out, and I'm anxious to see like how his character is gonna
how you gonna play into this?
to, like evolve. You know, now with him being out and being back on the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like, is he gonna try to look for Tariq? You know, is he gonna get back into the the drug game? Is he gonna try to find Tommy? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's a lot of possibilities with 2-Bit being out.
Now, something you said you started watching towards you started watching the second season. I didn't watch the first.
No, I started watching Power after the first season.
After that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so I think when I watched it, Power started in 2014, so I started watching it like December of 2014. Like, soon as it had ended, I started watching it.
My thing is, I've always been very competition based, and so for whatever reason, I found Empire first, and you know, then everybody started talking about between Empire and Power, which one was better. And so I was like, well, I already watched Empire, so I wasn't switching. I think the episode that I first watched was when Angela's dad was in the hospital and Ghost came with her. And he was like, why is he here? Or whatever. And so from then I kind of got hooked off of it. But what I will say, some of the positives about Power, the reason that I'm still watching now is because I appreciate how every character on there, you get their life. I must life story, but you kind of get a more why they are the way that they are. Like, I don't feel like any characters outshine any of the others. You're going to learn about each of them equally, all the way from Zach to Tariq's character, of course. Even with not Angela, but even with Tasha, they don't miss a beat.
But see, now to piggyback off what you had said, now I feel like Tasha is one of the only characters where we don't have a real idea like of her background and why she is the way that she is. We've never gotten that from Tasha. The show has never given that.
When her mom was on the episodes, you don't think you kind of got a feel for it then? Like, I think they give us just enough to be able to put the storyline in our heads. Maybe it'll be a situation where she has her own kind of like spin-off or Power book. You think? I mean,
I don't know. Or maybe like further on in Power Book, they might go into detail. Or maybe they may go into detail on Raising Kanan, because I saw the promo for that last night watching a new episode. Like, it wasn't like a full out promo, but you know, showing, you know, any scenes or whatever, but it was just like, you know, like the logo or whatever. That's basically what that was. So I know that that's definitely coming. That's definitely coming next. Yeah, that's definitely coming next. But yeah, if you haven't watched the episode that's coming on tonight, if you got the app, go ahead and watch it. If not, y'all watch tonight. I think it comes on at like 8 or 9 p.m. And we want to hear y'all thoughts and y'all feedbacks as well. Also, for those that are watching, like, feel free to comment, because it's not just it's about you guys watching, you know, us and listening to us, you know, give our opinions on certain topics, but we also would like to engage with you guys as well. So feel free to hop in the comments, you know, let us know how you feel or whatever. And
this won't work without y'all. Like, we need y'all. We need y'all. Everybody has their own opinion. This is just two opinions right here, but I feel like y'all might teach us something we didn't know, or, you know, whatever, give us a different perspective. So I'm definitely out for that. Chime in.
Definitely, most definitely. Oh, and this week, man, we lost two. In a sense, two black film icons. This week, unexpectedly, we lost Natalie, Deselle-Reid, We all know her as Niecy and Babs. She was also in How to Be a Player. The remake that they did of Cinderella, well, the first live remake they did, you know, outside of
the traditional.
right, outside of
And she was on the show with Eve. Was Eve's show self-titled?
yeah,
I like it. Was,
I forgot that she was on that show. Now, as much as I love Eve as an artist, I really didn't get into her show.
I like that show. I love that show actually. That was one of, was it on UPN? That's back when UPN was popping.
Yes. Yeah, I think it was on UPN, but then again, shit, we probably ain't even had their channel.
I liked it. I watched it. I mean,
we probably ain't even had it. To be honest, we probably ain't even had UPN with the cable we had.
I remember the theme song and everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and you know, do some research on that. But I just couldn't really get into that. But yeah, she was definitely in that. And I think she was in like a couple of Tyler Perry films as well. I know for sure she was in not Family Reunion. Was it like
in what?
Family, Big Happy Family? She was like one of the daughters. Oh,
I don't really
the one with Loretta Devine, I think that's the one she was in.
It was a
Tyler Perry movie. Yeah, I think it's like Big Happy Family or something like that. With Derek B. The Tyler Perry the Tyler Perry movie with Derek B in it, Colin. Does that ring a bell?
Where they had the family reunion?
No, it's I think the one with Bow Wow in it and Tiana Taylor. You don't remember? That one, yeah, she was in that one.
I don't remember her from there. I don't remember her role.
Yeah, she was one of the daughters because she was like, remember she was the one that had basically kind of like spill the tea about, you know, Bow Wow being the sister's daughter and not the younger sibling. You don't remember that?
I remember that part. I don't remember the character. I watched that movie.
He was definitely the one that had, you know, that had kicked that can over.
She's always played her character really well. Some people have like a personality to where when you get on screen, you don't really have, like, you have a role that you're playing, but your personality kind of defines that role. Because even thinking back from that right there to Cinderella to Babs, she's always been that ooh type character. Like, she's always
you're right.
She's always, you know, so.
Yeah, you're right, because even if you take her role in Cinderella and Babs, you know what I'm saying? Those are like in two different spectrums, but you get the same
right
energy, you know?
She was the one trying to put into the heel, I think, and trying to, you know, when the prince came around, like, whose heel was this that they left on the steps? She was, like, honestly, I feel like she could have been in a lot more things. I feel like the person...
Oh, most definitely, I agree.
Appreciate a lot more, you know. She was in the Babs play that was, or the music live.
Right, because her and Watch Jazzy...
Your girl, that's your girl.
Yeah, I love Watch Jazzy, but, yeah, they were in the process of I think they may have started it or whatever. They were in the process of starting it.
Yeah.
Going throughout the country doing the play, but then I think that's when the pandemic had started or whatever. So when the pandemic started, I just kind of squashed out like a lot. But like I'll never forget her for, you know, her roles, especially in Babs, because we used to play that movie out, and I think we still got the VHS tape like somewhere around here. We got plenty of VHS tapes, but we played that Babs.
That's how but I feel like every time I watch it, it's like I don't lose the energy from it because it was just so. When it comes to me watching stuff with Black people in it, that's really like, okay, this shaped part of our culture. Like, that movie was definitely like a culture shaper. Game changer.
Definitely, because I feel like it brought like the essence of like a Black ghetto girl, you know, like
right, yeah. But it showed how they were trying to elevate too, and I feel like that's, as a culture, that's what we all about. We're trying to elevate. We're trying to get out there and be the best versions of ourselves, and that's what they were doing, you know.
And I agree, because even before they end up just going to Los Angeles, like they already had, you know, Holly Berry wanted her hair salon, and Natalie, she wanted her, what was it, the restaurant. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they always had goals and aspirations, and they just kind of went for it, kind of like what we doing now in our life.
And at the end of the movie, what did they end up with? Their salon, and what was they selling? Real? What was the whatever it was?
It like a salon, a salon that was crossbreeded with
with a restaurant or something like
with
that.
a restaurant. That's exactly what it was. Yeah. Matter of fact, I think I might try to watch that because I think we got it. We got it on DVD too somewhere. I know we got like at least 2 or 3 copies of it. And yeah, man, and Debo, man, that really, yeah, that was unexpected because I mean you both had them. I think Debo was like 62 or 63. Natalie was like 53. You know, even that's not when you think of typically when you think of somebody like passing away, you know, you don't really think like that young.
Right.
You know, they say Debo passed because of natural causes.
And I think that kind of stresses the importance, like, you know, getting checked and things like that. Not to saying that even people who because I know there are people who get checked faithfully and, you know, it'll happen, but I guess it's like staying on top of it. That's the one thing that's the first step. That's the first step to making sure they may not. That's how you start by doing your part, you know. Especially
Now, Natalie, on the other hand, she was battling colon cancer. Now, I didn't know that personally until she had passed, but she was actually battling colon cancer. Now,
right.
with Tiny Lester, I'm not exactly sure. But like I saw that it was natural causes. Now, granted, if that's exactly what it was, I can't really verify it. But Debo that's another legendary role. Like Friday is a legendary film in the Black community. Like I remember when Friday came out. Now, granted, Friday came out in 1995. In 95, I turned 4. You know, but yeah, I know, right? Like as a child, what
I'm so old.
Or like what business do I have watching Friday? But my aunts and my uncle, they love Friday, you know, so they always played it, and you know, with us being around them all the time, like anything that they watch, we basically watch. So we just, you know, but yeah, I don't think I was scared of Debo character too.
What, like, was I wasn't scared of Debo character. I didn't like Debo character. I was like, nigga, don't be coming touching my don't touch nobody. Don't touch nobody.
I don't know if I scared of Debo.
Like, but now once again, there was another game changing movie like Friday, like.
And not only did they release the first one, like they released 2 more others, you know, outside of the original film. Now, granted, he was only in the first 2, Friday and Friday After Next. Now, I think I was down. I know a lot of people like Friday After Next. You know, while we on the topic of Friday, but I don't think I liked it for the simple fact that Debo wasn't in it. Because, you know, they basically kind of, we lost Debo in his role. I feel like that was, even though like they had 2 different purposes or whatever within the film, but I was just like, they could have put Debo in here rather than put Terry Crews in here.
Oh, to refresh my memory, next Friday, that was the one with.
Next Friday was the one whenever Cucamonga crack killers or whatever, that one.
That was with Day.
With Baby D.
Yeah, and Day. Yeah, okay, Baby D and Day. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So he wasn't in that one. He was in the one following.
No, he was in Next Friday.
Yeah, when he broke out of jail, they broke out and
right. Yeah.
They got in the daddy truck. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like black movies and things like that are so important. The good and I don't want to say the good and bad because it's not bad. I feel like all movies that show black culture, I feel like they're so important because a lot of times, if those things weren't made, other races, other cultures wouldn't have an understanding for why we act the way we do, why we laugh the way we do, or they may think, oh, it's just the ones that live around here. You don't understand it as a whole, black people, it's what you this in us, but those movies definitely come to you out how we act because we can all
Right.
like, and I like
Have definitely made very huge impacts in our culture, both Baps and Friday series.
right.
In general. Yeah, but condolences, because I made a post earlier this week, but yeah, condolences to the both of their families. And I pray that they rest in peace. Yeah, I pray that they rest in peace, like for real, for real. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but on the fashion tip, on the fashion tip, I know that the 25th anniversary 11s, I think they were calling them the Jubilees, have released on yesterday.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, I personally didn't like them, especially with the 11s being in my top 3 favorite Air Jordan model. For some reason, I just wasn't a fan of it. I didn't really.
I don't know if it was the Jordan sign on the back. Honestly, that could have been one of those little keychains that they hang. You know what I'm talking about? That hangs off the shoe, like, I would prefer that.
Coming along, like the top of the shoe, like they had like the Jordan spelled out.
Oh, did they?
Like where the strings are. Now I think that was the thing that made it a no for me. Like I think that was giving me like a child. Like something about that I wasn't really a fan of.
Yeah, I didn't even see that part. I just thought I felt like that Jordan sign was big. Like,
and then it's like silver too, so it's like, oh, I know why you say that now, because that Jordan sign, like the material of it would be like something that would hang from a keychain or whatever. Right.
You never understood what I said when I was saying that should have been hanging off the side of the shoe.
No, like you know I'm kind of slow.
Y'all, shout out the type of person that'll just be like, oh, okay, cool, and not listen to what I said. If he gonna try to understand twice. If he don't understand, you didn't even.
Yeah, I get it. I didn't like that. I'm really not a big fan of silver either. Yeah.
If it was all around, it might have been better. But that to me right there, I was just like, y'all keep putting out the same shoe in different ways. Like I get that, but no.
Yeah, and then the Jordan coming up on the sides, that was a definite pass for me. But that's a pass for me. You know, apparently it sold out, but apparently it took a lot slower to sell out than some of the other releases, especially some of the other releases within like the past month or past few weeks, because normally whenever I try to go and purchase a shoe, which is really not that often, because I don't really feel like I gotta have every shoe. Like I just go after the ones that I feel like I have to have.
You like what you like.
Yeah, you know, so I don't really be like pressing it too much. But like the black and gold metallic ones or whatever, I attempted to get those. I didn't get them. 9 times out of 10, I'm probably gonna go back and get them. I'm just get them on gold or something like for resale because I really wanted them. But those shoes was going like that, like within like a minute flat. I think like 5 or 7 minutes after, 10 o'clock or whatever, 10 a.m. Like the shoes was still on the Nike app. I'm like, damn, these niggas ain't sold out.
Yeah, but I think even you had an idea. I think even you kind of had an idea that it was gonna be like that, because when you was like, I don't really know about them, you was like, you'd probably still be able to get them. Right then, that's my thing. I was like, they probably,
Yeah, it's a pass for me. But what I am looking forward to are these OG95s that's coming out on Thursday. Like them OG95s is the very first model of the Air Max 95, which is definitely one of, if not the most popular Air Max model of all time. And they're classic and they're legendary, and I definitely will have them.
We should tell them about it. If I don't get it, it's somebody will watch it.
Yeah, now I want pressing them Jordan releases now, but if I don't get them Air Max, I am going to be very upset.
He gonna come over here heated next Sunday.
I'm gonna be very upset, but I don't think that that's gonna happen because as popular as that model is, you're gonna have like a lot of sleepers on it as well. I done already raffled maybe like 6 times, like the sneakers app, SNS, and then Hibbits. I did like online in 3 different locations. So that's
he got 6 ways.
If I don't hit, that's 6 ways to try to secure it. If I don't secure it in one of them 6 ways, then I guess the Lord didn't mean for me to have them. But I think I'll be able to secure them, and I feel like every sneaker, I wouldn't really say like a sneaker head, but I feel like every sneaker lover should at least have. That's a shoe that should definitely be like a part of your collection, and I know everybody has like their own like personal what they consider like grails, like the shoes of all shoes that they feel like they need to have in their personal collection. Like that's one of the very few shoes that I don't have.
Did you say you didn't think you were a sneakerhead?
I said no, not really.
Okay, do you think you're a sneakerhead? Because you are. If you just in case you're curious.
I wouldn't really say that because I just like sneakers. Like I feel like a sneakerhead is somebody that presses every maybe I wouldn't even want to call a sneakerhead a hype beast because a hype beast is way different. A hype beast is way different from a sneakerhead. I really don't too much have respect for hype beasts.
So okay, hype beast. Hype beast versus sneakerhead. What's the difference?
I feel like
you because when I say sneakerhead, I don't mean like you gotta have every shoe. Because if I might pull up something like, no, Kyle, I don't want these. So, but like it, like when I say sneakerhead, I be like how particularly you are about your shoes. Like you're very particular. Like when we went to Miami a few weeks ago, y'all, the oil spilled in his bag and got all in the sole of his Jordans. When I tell you how pissed this man was, which I definitely understand because those shoes are not cheap, but the time and the effort he takes into keeping his shoes looking good, that's when I say sneakerhead. So I'm not gonna step out with no full shoe now. So that's what I mean when I say that.
But yeah, y'all, we went to Miami last month for our line sister tap 30th birthday, and I took very little shoes, like specific shoes, and I took my Concords with me, and I don't know if it was my black seed oil or if it was this rose oil that I use on my face. I don't know how it got on the soles. Y'all know those the soles on basically any 11 is transparent or whatever, those clear soles, and the oil got into the soles like on those shoes, and I've tried to treat them with I need to get some Sole Bright, but I have to probably order that online. But I had this other thing that's called Soul Sauce that you put on it, and you wrap it in saran wrap and you leave it out in the sun for hours to try to reverse, the yellowing or whatever. And I've been doing that for a few weeks till I ran out of what I had, and it looks a lot better than it did in Miami. But at this point, I just need some new Concords. But at this point, I don't have like $430, to get Flight Club, for a brand new pair. I would love a pair, if anybody would like to help me, get a new pair of Concords, I'll be just hit my DMs because I really do need another pair. But I'm just like, oh gosh. But I mean, the shoes are still wearable. It's just the fact that Like the value is definitely going down because those soles is themed the way that they're themed. But yeah, but anyway, hype beast. Me personally, I feel like a hype beast is hype beast. I feel like a hype beast is somebody that just wants the shoe because it's just it's just what it is. You are not really having any type of like I'll get shoes because like I want the shoe. Like it gotta be a reason or a meaning behind why I want a certain shoe.
Oh, so they're getting it because of popularity, because of what everybody.
Exactly. What sneakerheads and stuff, they talk about the certain values of certain shoes, like for an example, like Yeezys or, like the Off-Whites or the Travis Scott shoes. I want the Cardi B shoe. Yeah, that shoe is very unique. Like, I know Cardi B, she has a sneaker deal with Reebok.
Yeah.
And it's giving me, I gotta go back and look, but from what I saw, the shoe was giving me like a Balenciaga type.
Yeah, kind of upscale.
Deal. Yeah.
At first, it was giving me Skechers SES. I was like, okay, man. I saw the red one, and I was like, okay, the red one.
Oh man, that's funny, but yeah, I gotta go back and look at the shoe.
Yeah, I like a little bit. Oh, what's up, girl talk over there too. Girl but yes, it had to grow on me. I was just like these block bottom shoes, but I guess that's the style everybody's going for. I like a natural regular tennis shoe. I like Jordans. I like Jordans and Air Max, maybe Adidas. That's all I would really buy. But I understand that like the luxury tennis shoe thing is in. I can't really. I like what's the shoes you like?
The Alexander McQueen's.
I like it's very select ones I like for the simple fact that if it's a tennis shoe, to me, it should be a tennis shoe. Like if you're gonna dress up like there are very little shoes that I feel like go with both, or you can do both with. But I prefer like don't try to make a cross tennis shoe, dress shoe, or whatever, because then you end up looking like Nelly on Dancing with the Stars. You see how his shoes.
I haven't seen it, so.
You haven't seen that?
No, I haven't.
He put taps on Jordans, and like all his sneakers had taps on them. Like that, his dance shoe had a different sole. His tennis shoes, I wouldn't rock with them. But yeah, like that might be. I feel like good marketing tool, good money maker. However, that takes away from people who really like things because they love them. When you take a bag or a pair of shoes or a shirt on StockX or wherever else, and you sell it for double.
Yeah, that's a hype beast. That's a hype beast. Yeah.
Yeah, that's hype.
Yeah, that's like another type of hype beast. Cause I mean I feel like it sucks, cause like with me, like I've always been into shoes.
Yeah.
And I don't know who's watching this. I don't know who'll go back and watch it. But how I got into shoes really was one of my uncles. He was into shoes when I was younger, and he'd always have them fly shoes. Even some of my other older cousins, other male cousins or whatever, and that was just the thing. Like, oh, okay, like I don't know. I just always kind of gravitated towards me, and like I was saying another time before, I think it was like last week. Growing up with teenage and young adult like aunts and uncles, they're into certain stuff. So it's like whatever they're in, we gonna put you in this. Like Tommy is in right now, Nautica is in, we gonna put y'all in this. Like Air Max is in, we gonna get y'all some Air Max. So it's just like, it's kind of what I know pretty much.
Yeah.
And just to see how the sneaker game has even changed from the time I was in high school to now, it's just like crazy. Like, just with the pricing alone and the availability as well. Like, I remember whenever you could come out, okay, for example, this is December this year. A pair of shoes could have probably came out in April or May that I wanted. And if I wanted to go to the mall now in December to get them, I could go in there and get them, you know, in my size. Now it's just like if you don't, it's stressful. It's like if you don't get the shoe whenever it come out that day, especially if it's like an Air Jordan release or you know a shoe of that type of stature, you know, pretty much like the Reeboks and you know Pumas, and it depends on Adidas because them Yeezys is gonna sell out the same day as well,
Right.
especially online or whatever. But I just hate that it's so difficult to get shoes now. Like that's why I really don't press it. Like if it's not a pair of shoes now that I feel like, oh, I gotta have it. Like I'm not about to stress myself out
Yeah,
because
population and popularity play two major factors in that. Like even in the way I relate stuff, like for instance, like when I flew to LA or when I flew to Miami, when we went last month, I was just thinking about like how I flew from one side to the other, and all the houses, all the different places that I saw. I'm like, all these people be doing the same stuff, and I was just thinking like, not only that, globally, like you have to the amount to like, somebody's gonna miss out. Somebody's not gonna get it, you know. But then it's just like y'all could also make more. Like it's just like I don't know if they're doing it.
yeah, because it was. I'm like, what happened between like 07, 08, 09 to now? Like, and it started really happening. I think the shoe release that it started was when the Space Jam set came out in 09. I didn't get them in 09, but I did get them in 2016. But I think after the Space Jam set dropped in 09, it slowly started getting that way, and they started doing the raffles. Like it was just like raffles. Like where did this raffle? I hate all of that. I hate the whole raffling system. I just hate all of that.
But like I said, from a marketing aspect, if I know that my shoe is as popular as it is, and you know, let me sell a little bit because I can guarantee that I'm gonna sell out, and then that more people are gonna want to buy it because oh, it's exclusive because now not everybody can get it. So those people who are like able to say, oh, I got the Jordans or I got this or whatever, like they could make more, but they probably won't for reasons like that. Like, let's see how. Like you said, it's only like a matter of minutes before those websites start loading, you know.
And then like 10 o'clock, sometimes even 10 o'clock on the dot, like, and then the bots, I don't understand that. I'm not even really sure how that stuff works, but like them sites be crashed every time, like every time I was like, you have to wait. Like when I was trying to get the ones, I think that was on the 30th or whatever, like it was this one website I was on, like I waited probably like 30 minutes like just to get through for them to be like, oh, it's sold out. Then whenever I was able to get on Finish Line's website, it was showing the shoes in stock or whatever. I hurried up, was trying to make the purchase. Finish Line took the money out of my account and reversed it. I was so pissed. I was like, are y'all serious right now? Like they literally took the money out of my account and reversed it. I don't know how that happened or whatever. I don't know. I think that was like a situation with the bots or whatever. But I don't know. I hate it.
To not to get too far off subject from this particular topic here, but just like I told you, the company that I worked for prior to, the systems that we use for when people called in to purchase from us or to buy our services, they literally had it set up to where they knew what zip code you were calling from or the type of phone that you were calling from. And that's how they determined who would hit the line first. If you were calling from a Cricket or Metro PS or Boost Mobile, those calls will go to hold while Verizon customers, AT&T, like customers that they felt like they were making the area be more busy. The area, so to speak, I don't want to use different words, but those will go on hold. So I don't know how that works, but I feel like every way the things run with consumers and the way we buy things, I feel like they have it set up the way that they want it set up for a particular reason. Like I really feel like it's all about the dollar that they can make.
Yeah, apparently America is a greedy country. Like the way like these systems are. Yeah, that was it. But
What's up? You on the line with?
but this week outside of what's coming out this week, I feel like that's worth talking about. Like I said, them OG 95s, and then you have like the question rebox. I like those. I really want a pair of those, which is the Allen Iversons. Well, no, not really. I guess people would call them, even though they aren't Allen Iverson shoes. Like he wore them, like he made them popular. The Reebok questions. Yeah, those are coming out this week.
Those are a very popular shoe for a good minute. Good minute.
Yeah, yeah, they really are. And like see, like that's a pair of shoes. Let's take that. So like I was saying earlier, you have like the Air Jordans and the Yeezys and things of that nature that would sell out like that. But take like the questions. Like I can, if I want to go over to the mall right now, I could go to the mall right now and Foot Locker have them in stock.
Yeah.
Champs will have them in stock where you can go and get them. And even probably a few months down the line, if I want to go back and get a pair of them, they'll still be in the store.
It's at the end of the day, it's because it's Jordan. And when I watch I appreciate documentary series and TV and things like that. So much because it truly helps. Like I remember we had a conversation about. I watched the Bulls documentary. Basically, I felt like that was something you would have how he came out with the shoe in the first. Tennis shoe, like or track shoe, one of those. But it went from there and it just grew. Like he literally changed the shoe game. And not only that, when you do it right, you get the right people in there to design. So now not only do they want them because it's him, they want them because they look good. And back forward to the Fresh Prince documentary I saw, I think last week or last, he was talking about, Jordan sent us all the newest Jordans, and him and Jazz were like every week they were fresh shoes. So
I didn't know that. I gotta watch it, man. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to watch it, but I definitely need to watch that, and we can talk about that.
Yeah, you need to watch it. I feel like that's probably the same thing that he did with Martin too, because Martin stayed in some Jordans, and both of them shows back then around that time, like if a lot of people watching, they see black people on TV, look at what he rocking, I want to rock that. They said
you know what? That was a very smart marketing tool.
Definitely. I think when they were doing not table read, but when they were sitting around in the cast living room or whatever, they were basically saying that their goal every week, from them to Hillary to Ashley, even parents, their goal was to be the flyest dresser in the style that they wore. Like how Hillary was always like black,
right? Yeah.
Sorry, So and then Jazz and them, and then even Ashley, for her to be so young, I think she was 14 on the show at that time. I think her character, she was a little fly dresser. You could tell the influence that Will played on her, fashion. But yeah, that's all I want to say about that.
Oh yeah, I definitely have to. And that makes sense. And now that you said that, make me think about like other brands, like with Carl Kanai or whatever.
Right.
Like I told you about the other day or whatever.
Right.
Now that I think about it, like he had everybody was wearing his stuff. Like Biggie and Tupac, Aaliyah, all the popular artists at that time, in the middle 90s was wearing the Kanai, so that's why.
Right.
That's what probably made it like what it was.
Right. Your brand has an identity because you create it, but when you put people that's like the people you trying to sell it to, that puts a face on it, like, he rocking that. I might look good in that, or she look good in that. I'm gonna wear that. It's like live mannequins, so to speak, if that makes sense. Live mannequins, like putting celebrities in your clothes.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Can you see like when people join? Yeah, we can. But yeah, what else is coming out this week? The 13s, they call them the hyper royal 13s. They like the The bread 13s, the ones that you have, the black and red ones.
Okay, okay.
But they like where the red is blue. It's a no for me.
You said it's a no for you?
Yeah, it's a no for me. But I'm sure those
What
are
you said?
Huh?
What was the difference that you said?
It's just like the bread 13s, but where the red is on the shoe is blue.
Blue. So it's red and blue?
Yes.
I don't think I would like that.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, like back in the day, you know, when they would really sell like bootleg Air Jordans or whatever, that's giving me bootleg Jordans. But
Giving me saying
that's just like, damn, like that's the best y'all can do right now. Like bootleg Jordans, like y'all making bootleg Jordans real now. I think that's why I don't really respect those type of colorways and go for those type of colorways unless it's something that really like looks good. But other than that, like I'm like an original colorway type of person.
I don't think I would. From the way you described that, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that either. But yeah, I don't even know how long we've been on here, but we are not gonna keep y'all.
We ain't had no more topics.
Longer, huh?
We ain't had no more topics because I was good talking. We don't got nothing to talk about. What y'all doing?
Right now, the
You said what?
Facebook free, the IG got one, but yeah, like I said, we're not gonna keep y'all. For those who did watch, like I appreciate y'all for tapping in with us. Any mistakes, please take it for love. We thank you guys who were patient with us at the beginning of this without technical difficulties. I think that kind of played into, you know, the flow of things as well. But like I said, please take it for love. If you are not following Soul Faces on all social media platforms, please do so. At Soul Faces Media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We have a YouTube channel coming soon. Be on the lookout for that. Colin, you got anything to say?
I'm gonna give y'all a professional ending or whatever. I'm just gonna say I hope y'all enjoyed what we talked about. I did, and if y'all didn't, that means y'all just need to tell us what y'all want to hear. But not for real. I really did enjoy this. This is our second week in. Thank y'all for checking us out and rocking with us, man. It's only to the top where we going. So hey.
Yeah, we appreciate any feedback. As long as it is constructive, I'm definitely open to it. Just hit us in the DMs. Or hit me in the DM. Colin, the next time we gonna post your ad or whatever, you know, y'all can follow Colin, you know, any of my followers that are watching.
Follow me on the name that's at the top, the CARLISL3. Put an @ sign in front of that. That's my Instagram name on Facebook. Y'all should know. That's yeah, it's my name on Facebook. But yeah.
All right, y'all have a blessed week. We out.
All right, man.